On the table. First step. Are you ready, Mr. Bloggy? I am ready.
Ready.
There's the little thing if you need to. Okay, so client takes their hands and they make a little bit of a wing, like such. Okay, the first wing, remember we're treating this sternal division, correct? I mean clavicular division. So you're gonna come by the bicipital groove. Remember we were coming in treating it here. Now you just come in here. Grab under the clavicle and compress. Hold here and manipulate.
Are you manipulating with your thumbs or your fingers?
Both. Fingers meeting thumbs at the moment.
Like this.
Sifting through it, kind of.
Okay.
And some of my upper hand here is sifting more higher and my lower one was staying static. And then I'm moving my way down. So I'm getting this first portion, the clavicular. What's going on out there? Okay, so that's your first step here. Second step is going to be treating, I need a little bit of lotion. Now we're going to be doing outward glides in this direction. Okie dokie, that's your second picture, so it's kind of down and out. Remember how on the board I was showing you? Okay, I'm going to have you slide that pupper away. Then you're going to come from under the clavicle, glides. That pressure's okay? Real slow glides in an outward and downward. So you're going lateral and inferior. Going with the fibers. Remember the way the fibers go down to the attachment in the bicipital groove here? So I'm going to glide across those fibers there. Then I'm going to come over and treat the attachment site at the bicipital groove. So I'm going to come in, thumbs together. Medial-lateral friction, static pressure. That's friction sounds. A little bit of glide in that area. If I want to reverse, I can reverse. This one feels better. On her, it just feels like the downward one felt better than the upward one, right? Okay, so then we've done the glides here. We're going to treat under here subclavius. Out to the coracoid. So you start at the sternum. Medial lateral friction. Under or below the clavicle. Medial lateral. Out to the coracoid. While you're at the coracoid, why don't you just go ahead and treat it? Because we're going to do pec minor attachments shortly after this. So treat the coracoid attachment site for pec minor. Now we're going to treat the slips of pec minor, so we have to come underneath, aiming towards coraco. So we just hold here.
What is this one called?
Pec minor. This is still pec, but just in a supine position.
No, but what attachment is that?
Oh, this is the coracoid process.
No,
Pec minor. Pec minor.
Pec minor.
Yep. Fingertips going under pec major, aiming till I get up here. So I started just kind of outside, then I'm working my way up and under, treating both slips at the same time. You get a more individualized on the side lying. So I'm coming up to the coracoid where my finger is, static pressure first, pressure's okay, a little tender, and then a little medial lateral friction. I'm going to work, there's lateral slip, there's a little medial, and then there's the real medial right here. So you can try to cover those three. And then I'm just going to do a little soothe. So we had the bellies, under the clavicle, here, across here in glides, the compression. Then we're going to work our way up to the sternum here. I like to do this. I like to start at the sternum and do just lateral glides from the attachment at the sternum, static pressure here first, multi-directional, and then slide. Come to the sternum, static pressure, and slide. The is the multi-directional. And then slide across. So we're getting the upper fibers of the sternal division. You can go slow, you can do a little medial lateral if you want, and glide out. So you're thinking the ribs here, we're doing this clavicular part here, the sternal part here, the compression, attachment, and the pec minor. Okay, that's kind of this upper section.
So what was, the first one was the bellies?
Yeah, bellies,
Okay.
attachment, pec minor, and attachment,
Okay.
and then sternal attachment, and then glides on the bellies for the sternal division. Then we're gonna go, oh, she's dressed, hey. You're not cold, are you? Okay, we're gonna come here. Now, remember we had the cardiac arrhythmia point. We talked about it in the clinical notes. Cardiac arrhythmia point is the point of, it's a tender spot, just an inch. It's between the 5th and 6th ribs, so you go to the xiphoid process, come up to where it attaches at the sternum, and that's about the 5th rib. So you're going to slide from the xiphoid process to the juncture of the xiphoid and the sternum, because some people have a xiphoid, some people don't. So it's either the base of the sternum or the base of the xiphoid you start. Come up to about the 5th, 6th rib and go over about 1.5 inches. If you feel like you're in a little U dip, you're probably too far up underneath into the breast tissue area, so just back out a hair down towards the inferior, towards her feet. And you're going to place your finger between the 5th and 6th ribs, and you're going to hold static pressure. Is that tender there? Take a breath in. Do you feel anything happening in your heart rate, anything changing, racing? So you're just hitting the cardiac arrhythmia point. If somebody had a rapid heartbeat, tachycardia type thing, and there was no known cause for it, this could be a trigger point firing. Remember, it's visceral somatic. Okay? Static pressure there. Cranial caudal. Now,
What if somebody has a pacer?
you could reset it, but they're already on this special timing, so I don't know that neurologically it works that way. I'd have to ask if they have a pacemaker. Okay, you can do the same thing on the other side. In most books, it says it's on the right. Now, new books are saying check both sides, okay? So we've checked the cardiac arrhythmia point, then we're coming down to the base of the sternum, and we're just gonna do, we need a little bit more.
When you say check, what are you checking for?
Tenderness in that area, and then if anything happens with the person, if they start sweating, or they feel their heart starting to race, or maybe they'll feel it calm down, then you will know, and it may radiate. So this point can radiate into the heart, and then it may help change the rhythm of their heart if they've had a speeding up heart, because the trigger point could be causing that racing, because the heart is a muscle, and we have muscle. So back to the sternum. Remember, we had done this little slip here, so I'm going to start at the sternum, and I'm just going to do just a few lateral glides on rib 5, 6, and 7. Just to get just about 1/2 inch. Remember that tiny little slip that we talked about earlier? It's about from here to here, sternum, and then it's this little area where we were kind of doing this little pinch portion, the little low. Oops. Takes 7, okay. I had to see it in there, right? And then just little glides, okay? Just small, like 2-inch glides on the lower portion of the pecs. I think that's it. I'm done.
You did a glide over